Hello, everyone. It is Neha here from College Shortcuts. I hope you're having an incredible day. And I'm really excited about today's video because it is about the dreaded college essays. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but it is one of the most frustrating parts of the college admissions process. And most students will say things like, I wish that I didn't have to do the essay, or are there colleges where maybe they don't need the essay? Well, actually, if you're applying to a competitive school, essays are definitely required. So today I'm going to be going over my top tips, things to avoid, and I'm actually going to show you examples of first draft essays and what needs to be done to make them better. Now, if you are watching, please comment below. Let me know what grade your kid is in, and also like the video. It makes a big difference when you like the video. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put a little link here below so that you can have access to some great information because I know a lot of people in my last video had asked, Neha, we're interested in the family plan, and possibly today you might be interested in getting someone to help your child in the essay process because of how challenging and difficult it can be. Now, what a lot of people do not realize is that high schools don't exactly teach a class on how to write a college admissions essay. Let me explain what I mean by that. See, a lot of people will write the essay and they'll think they're writing an English paper, if that makes sense. I want to do a quick shout out to Gracie Garay Rodriguez. It is great to see you here. So excited to see you on. I love it when people are interactive. And please, this is a live video, so feel free to ask any questions that you have while I am going. I love to answer them. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you access there to our early bird admissions to our program so that you can get the incredible discounts that we have to offer. Now, let's get into the college essay because most people hate the college admissions essay. Now, this stuff that I'll be teaching will be applying to if your kid wants to go to MBA, if they want to go to law school, if they want to go to med school, if they're trying to get into a private school. All of these types of things, including getting into college, are all relevant to this video. So I want to make sure that you guys know that we do help students at all levels. So that is really important to know. So let's get into it. Let me go ahead and get into it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the essay specifically. Now, a lot of people think that the essay is a stressful part of the application. They think they have to wait till senior year to write it, but actually it could be farther than the truth. Most people, they say about 65% of students will have someone edit their essays for them. And I think that's really important to note that turning in a first draft or even a second draft is not typical in this process. It's actually very rare if you are doing this in the process. So I want you to know that getting help is very crucial in this process. Now, when you apply to college, there's 4 major things they're looking at. They're looking at the GPA, the test scores, the essay, and the resume. And like I've said in earlier videos, just in the last 2 years, Stanford rejected 69% of students with a perfect GPA and perfect test score. And that's because their essay sucked. So that's where I'm going to get real with you a little bit. The essay is a make or break part of the application. If you have a bad essay, they just reject you. If your writing is bad, they reject you. If your topic is irrelevant, they reject you. If you don't fit the word count, they reject you. If it's really boring and they don't like what they're reading, they reject you. So the essay is the one place that you have complete and full control of standing out in the process. Now, I was talking to an admissions director at one of the top 25 universities, and he was saying to me that the favorite part of the entire application process is the essays itself. Now, what you don't realize is, and one of the things he had said to me, he goes, look, we could technically just build an algorithm and just accept people based on GPA and test scores. There's a reason why the admissions department exists. And one of the major reasons is to find those gems as we read the essay. So that is how crucial this part of the process is. It's the most sexiest part of your application. And on top of it, it's the one part that most people mess up. So let's get into how the essay works. Now, let me go ahead and pull a little document up. While I'm doing that, I just want to play a quick video for you of a awesome video just to show you a quick commercial here.
Hi, I'm Shivani. I'm a junior at the University of Texas at Austin with the McComb School of Business, and I started the college application process with Neha about 4 years ago when I was a junior in high school.
Her one-on-one college consulting helped me to submit my applications early and develop a really good profile that colleges were looking for to get the best possible chance of getting in.
By the time you're applying to college, and I hate to say, you need the whole package, but you need the whole package.
It was a wonderful experience that was very, very comprehensive. We got everything done very, very early, knew about all the deadlines, turned stuff in, really when deadlines opened actually. And so I really appreciated the very organized, methodical approach to it. And, now here I am, a junior, loving UT. Wasn't so sure that I even really wanted to go there in the first place, but now I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else.
Hi, I first met Neha when my oldest son was in 7th grade, and all of a sudden he seemed to be failing math, and I went into a panic, and one of the professionals at the school referred me to Neha because she was a graduate of the middle school that my son was attending, and she immediately was a perfect fit. She was very warm and compassionate. I could tell she really cared.
It was really difficult for me to come in contact with my college counselor. Throughout my 4 years at my school, I maybe met with them once or twice. They had no idea what schools I was applying to and maybe didn't even have faith that I was going to get into my top school. Luckily, meeting with Neha and having that special focus from her, I was able to experience support and helpfulness in applying to my top schools, which can be a really complicated process.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that, in terms of just hearing from amazing parents and students through the college process and how much we were able to help them. So let's get into specifically how the essay works. I'm actually going to start with just diving right in to an example first draft essay that we've seen. Now, before I show you this essay, obviously if I've omitted the name and information. This is a student who went to a top private school who expressing himself wasn't the easiest thing. It's not something he was used to doing or praised for. Still did well in school, but needed a lot of help with this essay. This is an example of a very rough first draft specifically. So I think that's really important to know. So let's go ahead and change it over to my screen so you can go ahead. I'm going to actually walk through and show you a little bit just as we learn together. Now, before I do that, if you can go ahead and like the video, and if you can definitely comment below. Let me know what grade your child is in or the city and state that you're located or country, because I know we've got hundreds of viewers that log on. All right, so let me get right into this video specifically. Now, here we go. So this is an example of an essay topic that is a very relevant one. Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and new understanding of yourself or others. So as you can see, and I'm going to actually space this out so that we can have it. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. New Jersey, 8th grader. Awesome. And just, these essays can be based on experiences all the way from 8th grade. That's why it's so important to look into our family plan, look into ways to help, because the experiences they have are what pulls into this essay. So a lot of students that don't have great summers or don't do things on campus or don't have a lot to say, it makes it really hard to have a good essay. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So discuss an accomplishment event that caused you to have a new understanding. Now, this is a rough draft, and I'm just going to kind of read through it a little bit, and then I'm going to tell you what my viewpoints are on it. So throughout middle school, I was always behind on my work and not doing what I was supposed to be doing in school. So this right here is what we call your grabber sentence. This is the headline. For example, a headline example can be top 10 ways to botch your college essay and get rejected. So see, immediately you're like, ooh, I would click on that. That would be really interesting. So that's what the headline is, So that's important for you to look at, to understand that a headline can be very important. So this headline of throughout middle school, I was always behind on my work and not doing what I was supposed to do is not the best light. So I would say this is not a good grabber, actually puts you in a bad light to the admissions office. And then we keep going. I made bad grade, not grades, and did not put in a lot of effort either. So again, this is not effective. I had a hard time focusing on lots of things, and because of this, I did poorly in school. Having bad grades also affected my social life, and I had few friends because of my bad habits. So as you can see, this is, by the way, I just want to be real with you. This is a real essay I received. And I know not every kid will talk about this, but it's relevant to see that sometimes they need mentorship to know what is okay to write about and what's not okay to write about. So as you can see here, this topic, first of all, so grabber is not good. Second, topic is bad. Bad. So that's important to know. As time passed, my two best friends left the school and I felt all alone with bad grades and very demanding parents. Probably not the best thing to say about your parents in general since they birthed you. Definitely frowned upon in the admissions office. Unless something horrific happened, being critical of your parents because they're demanding is not effective. Okay. Then it says, I was caught in a dark world with no way out. One day my father took me to see a man named Dr. Blah, blah, a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist is spelled wrong. So another big point here. Spell check is your best friend. Okay. I was a little scared at first, but over time I started to open up and talked with him about my problems. Now, I see a lot of people logging in today. Looks like you guys are having a good day. If you are logged in and you're watching my video, I want to know who you are. So type in your city and state below, comment below. Don't forget to register for the pinned link I have for early bird discount plans there. So make sure to register, put your information in. You'll get an incredible little menu there. If you're watching, please type in what grade your kid is in, because then I can customize this video. And then also make sure to just let me know where you're from. And definitely like or heart the video. I love it when people do that. So I'm going to say hi to Joni. Nice to see you. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you as well. Okay, cool. Let's go back to this. So now we're talking about a medical issue as well. Okay. After rigorous testing and many hours of work, he diagnosed me with attention, right? Rigorous is spelled wrong, right? So I'm not going to go in here and actually edit through, but so his view of what has been really difficult is so discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization. So as you can see, I don't know how ADD is an accomplishment or an event or realization. Now, it could be a realization for personal growth, but as you can see, it doesn't really follow topic. I know the student personally because we worked on it last year, the last 2 years, and it's very clear that this could be a better topic. He allowed me to go to my doctor and get a prescription for a drug. So now we're getting into medical history. The first day I took it, it was like I had woken up. I asked my teacher for 7 folders for all my classes and spent the lunch in study hall that day trying to organize all my schoolwork into subcategories, not spelled right, for each folder. So as you can see, this is probably where he thinks he's got his personal growth. Personal growth here. Spelling again, and drug mention. I then went and repeated lots of tests he gave me, but I was on this. The first time I did it, there was a shapes test. Okay, so here you can see he's getting really detailed, but it doesn't really tell me a lot specifically about him as a student or new understanding of yourself or others in general. You're getting too detailed about things like, the couple of blocks, the picture. I could not do the hard ones. I failed miserably. Again, this is not an accomplishment kind of thing. Then he goes, I was like something sparked an innovation. Also, guys, I see a lot of you logging on. If you are logged on, please comment below. What are your thoughts about this essay? I'm super curious what you think. Okay. So it felt so amazing that I changed things correctly, happy at the same time. Before this, I was sent to tutors who spent hours studying for a test. I made 70s. After this, I studied on my own, and I was making 90s on every subject. The real change came in high school, also spelled wrong. So as you can see, So, you know, how do I say this? ADD is a real thing. I'm not downplaying that it's a real thing. What I am saying is it the thing you want to talk about for your main college essay? No. See, what happens is sometimes students will focus on the negative things, like, I had bad grades, and so, I'm really sorry about that, and this is what I did to fix it. Well, we don't always have to address that in the main essay. That might be a supplemental. There's always an extra essay where they ask things like, do you have anything that you want to talk about in terms of, any challenges you faced or anything? There's always that supplemental, but this student chose to write upwards of 600 words about a topic that probably would just get them rejected. So I just want you to know, and they were really like headstrong, like this was their hardship in life and this was like something that was difficult. But what they're not realizing is they're not getting perspective. And when you work with a college consultant whose job it is to go line by line, and I do have videos of me doing this where I'm just sitting on a Saturday and I'm literally going line by line by line, editing and, going through. That's the difference between a college counselor and a school versus a college consultant that will go through and edit. We'll also talk about the topic itself and the brainstorming. So as you can see, and that's why I put the link below if this is a service you are interested in. But the thing that most students don't realize is the topic is one of the most important parts, and it's the one thing that most people make a mistake on. So as you can see here, in my view of this essay, bad essay topic, no grabber, too detailed, medical history not relevant, unless it's extremely serious, private drug information, spelling errors, not an accomplishment, doesn't show how he learned about others. So to me, this is what I call a scrapped essay. This is an essay what we would call is throwaway. And this is what happens when a student is not working with someone and they are just trying to write about something on their own. It's what I call a stream of consciousness. And it's not clear and concise. And I want to ask a quick question to the audience here. How long do you think college admissions counselors spend on your main kid's college essay? I'm going to quickly go to a commercial break here. I'm curious to see. Go ahead and comment below, like the video. I want to know what you think. What do you think they're actually looking at?
I enjoyed the talk Nia gave today because it really touched me. I look forward to writing essays and sending it to Nia.
It really inspired me to reach for the stars and try my best. Somebody believes in me and I feel like I could do it.
All right. So as you guys can see, it is super relevant to make sure the topic, what you're writing about, is so important. We've had, Jessica, you're actually pretty accurate, 1 minute per essay. They usually spend about 2 to 4 minutes per main college essay. So most people will read through this and they will say things like, okay, so not a good academic student. Let me go ahead and go back to here. Okay, not a good academic student. Okay, didn't put effort in. Probably don't want them at our school. Complains about his parents. Went to a psychiatrist, had to get on medication. Using medication to do better in school. This is stuff I don't need to really read. And then, okay. Yeah, and then he obviously grew into who he was and eventually did better. That's it. That doesn't tell me a lot about who he is, how he fits at my school. There's no tying, doesn't tie to why he should be accepted. So these are just a few things I wanted to show you here of a great example of an essay that needs a lot of help. If you have any questions about the essay, please ask. This is a live video. I love to see each and every one of you that are on. Hi, Jesma. Nice to see you too. So excited. So if you are watching right now, please make sure to comment below. What did you think of this first essay? Is it something that you think is well written? Do you think it could be better? What are your thoughts about its relevancy to the question being asked? Let's go ahead and get into the next essay specifically around, let's see here. Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? What or who do you turn to when you want to learn more? And before I get into that, I want to go ahead and play.
I'm Neil. I'm actually a professor over here at the University of Houston. Neha just spoke in our class, and honestly, it was awesome. It was one of the best presentations I've ever seen. It was amazing.
All right. Okay, so let's get into this one. This essay is really interesting because it's the one that really can make or break your application. Yeah. So let's take a look here. The fact that you need to describe a topic that makes you engaging. What is accompanied? Okay, so here's another one. First of all, spelling. Spelling. Biggest mistake that we see is people think they can type up their essays into the Common Application itself. No, you need to do them on a separate document. And then you have to triple, quadruple, 6,000 times check. Okay, a topic that I find so engaging is politics. Okay, so this is not an engaging grabber. We might find one later that's even better. It intrigues me, and I want to talk about it all the time. This is what I call a useless sentence. It captivates me because of how in-depth and complex it is. Again, another useless sentence here. By the way, I want to clarify to you guys. I know I'm being a little harsh, but typically when we work with students, we're not this harsh. We are down to earth and real with them about it because we're closer to their age. They feel a level of relatability. They feel a level of trust. And, you know, a lot of them are just really receptive and open to feedback. Now, this essay is a very first draft. You know, we would have finessed it out a little more. But most students that work with us are like, just tell me what I need to do, like what needs to be worked on, like what works, what doesn't work. So we have a really great relationship with kids. If you are noticing that when you are trying to do this kind of work with your kid, if they are putting up a wall, you want to immediately stop because any feedback you give, they're going to do the exact opposite or they're going to ignore you. And that can be very frustrating in this process. So that's really important. Okay. All right. Captivate. This is used. Okay. I love to be able to understand how other people think and why they believe in certain things. This can be what I call reworded. Something along the lines, you know, something along this essay would be something more, and it'll get better, I think. I do not find it fascinating to argue with someone for hours at all time. In fact, I find it counterproductive. I'd rather like to have discussions about why people think what they do and what factors play into that. So this is a great example of an essay where they're writing how they speak. So for example, if you watch my videos and someone tries to write out what I'm saying and turns that in for an essay, it's going to be automatically rejected. How you speak and how you write are two different things. And it's very important to understand how to translate yourself onto paper. Very painful to watch. Parents, you know, I will tell you something. There was a time in my life where I wasn't a good writer. Okay. English teachers teach you how to write a thesis paper. That's intro, body, conclusion with, you know, concrete details, support, concrete details, intro. It's a very specific structure. When it comes to writing about yourself, no one's ever asked a student to do this in their entire life. So although I'm being critical, I'm very, very clear that this is a hard process. And it's why a lot of people are consultants in this process. There's nothing wrong with it. It's about packaging your child properly for the application process so that what they are trying to say actually gets put out onto paper. Okay, I do not find it fascinating. Okay, whatever. I rather not. I wonder why people do certain things. Analyze what I want to learn more about. Turn into what I want to learn. The news, my parents, my friends. I try to watch multiple news stations. I love to analyze. So this is where I would say, show, don't tell me. So there's a big difference between telling me all of the process steps you take to be passionate about something versus showing me how you're passionate in words. I'm going to kind of show you what I mean by that. Spending hours flipping through the Economist, I thoroughly enjoy losing time while learning about the political situation of our world. Now, just so you know, this is a very final draft type of grabber. It's because I'm very good at what I do, and my team is very good at what we do to take students' essays to final draft with them. Now, I don't expect a student to know this immediately, okay? But I'm trying to show you an example of the level at which they expect when it comes to a college essay. Because this is what he thinks is his grabber right here. He thinks this is his grabber. And this is the grabber. It's concise, it's clear, it shows how he's engaged, it shows that he reads, it shows that he loses time. He talks a little bit about his wanting to have concise debates. There's nothing more than that I enjoy than debating with friends about their beliefs, values, and political viewpoints. Something along the lines of, although my parents tell me to steer away from talking about politics, I can't help myself but to engage in the topic. So it kind of creates this like a rebelliousness but nerdiness all at once. That's kind of an interesting way of doing it. So I'm just kind of doing this off the top of my head. Remember, this is not like perfect of an essay, but I wanted you to at least get a sense there of how you can open an essay, how you can massage it a little bit. We are what we call wordsmiths here at College Shortcuts when it comes to the essays. It is where a massive part of our bread and butter comes from when a student is trying to massage out what's from here to get onto there, and from there onto the application, because those are 3 different steps that need to happen. But with that, I'll show you a little bit of what really needs to happen is, let me go back to my screen here. You've got brainstorm inside kid's head. Then you've got time wasted while staring at a blank screen. Can be months long. We've seen students waste, the Common App prompts, and most essay topics don't change. They come out every February. They're almost the same. Technically, an 8th or 9th or 10th grader could literally start writing their essay or start drafting it or start outlining it or get a sense of it. We've seen a lot of juniors that get them in February. They don't write till November of their senior year. They miss all early deadlines, and they call me on December 31st. Not this year, buddy. Not this year. Then eventually feel like hell or feel like crap and call us. Then we discuss the topics at hand. Then we look at what they have, either use or scrap. Elite Edge outlining strategy. We go through how to outline. Elite Edge brainstorming sessions. Then we do drafting of essays, then reviewing of those drafts, then discussion with students, then final draft edit, then sent over, then any last changes, then done. Are you noticing that is a lot of steps? I don't know if you're seeing the amount of steps that are involved with working with us. That's if you hire us as a consulting team with you. If you're wanting to we have some students that'll just say, here are my essays, please final draft, edit, and they email it to us. That's the other way of doing it. But I will tell you that it is very important to understand that the essay portion is very, very important when it comes to the admissions process. It can either make or break your application. And as you can see, we can keep going here a little bit to show you, this essay. It keeps going, the news, my parents are helpful when I want to learn more. I love to analyze the differences between news stations and the type of news they report. Now, see, this is an interesting sentence here. Sometimes I get lost in the details and study the differences between news stations and how they report the same topics. So as you can see, it's a rewording. It's a rewording, but it's saying, I'm not losing the heart of what the student is trying to say. I'm not completely rewriting the essay, because this is something I would work with the student on to keep their voice, because that's extremely important. We've talked with college admissions directors, and they've said, look, we've seen parents edit essays, and it's really obvious that a 30, 40, or 50-year-old is writing the essay. So we're very specific on making sure that when we do editing, it still feels like the student, it still matches what their SAT English score is. There's a lot that goes into making sure that these essays are really effective for students. Because like I said, there's a lot of mistakes people make. Now, I see a lot of people logging in. Please like the video. Make sure to click on the link below if you are interested in learning more about what we can do for you. And we are doing some incredible savings right now. I mean, really insane. Because we've decided we're only going to work with 100 students this year, which is technically only 8 or 9 students per month overall, with a team of over 12. So we're making sure that we get that one-on-one approach for your child to customize it based on their exact unique angle. Now, if you're on, please comment. Let me know what city and state you're from, or what grade your kid is in. And while we're waiting, I would love for you to watch this fun commercial to show you some of the amazing things that we've done for families.
Have an overwhelmed student? Bad grades? Low test scores? Or just unable to focus? When it is time for you to find a tutor for your child, just tell us what you need. You can pick from elite, master, or ultimate coaches that I have personally handpicked.
My name is Gretchen. I'm from a small town in Texas, and I was valedictorian in my graduating class.
Valedictorian of my high school class.
I graduated top 1% of my high school.
With a GPA of 3.9 out of 4.
4.0 out of 4.0.
And on our website, you can find in-depth photo and video profiles of each one. And on top of it, you receive a free trackable tutoring report after every single session. Unheard of in the tutoring industry. Moms love working with us because we make their lives easier.
I've had very good experiences with all of the tutors that I've encountered. They're polite, they're together. Kelly made honor roll for the spring semester. I've recommended elite private tutors in the past and will continue to do so.
Join and book free through our online scheduling system to have a tutor smiling and at your door tomorrow. We make moms' lives easier in academic coaching, test prep, college consulting, personal coaching, and much more. Call today.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. All right, so do you have any questions about the college admissions essay and your kid? Go ahead and type it below right now. I want to go ahead and take a few questions, and I just want you to know I'm really excited to be doing this live because we rarely do this, and I want to make sure that we are helping you. So if you have any questions, please type them below. I would love to say hi to Janine. Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, Janine has an 11th grader and a 12th grader in Newport. That is amazing. That's a lot. Hi, Rhonda. Nice to see you. Hi, Dawn. Great to see you too. Hi, Jesma, Joni, Lisa, Gracie. Love the hearts and the likes. I love the hearts. They're my favorite ones. Love the hearts. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the essay process. I'm going to go through this a little more here. So we've kind of talked through this essay, and assume this is let's just assume this is like a 250 word essay, okay? Now, as you can see, look at in format tools, word count, words 81. So we're almost a third or half of the way, really a third of the way here. So that's why you want to be really careful, because we need a conclusion. We need more details, maybe an example, he can get into, although the election of 2017 or the election was a hot button topic, comma, I enjoyed, and you'd use a different word because I've used enjoyed before already. I enjoyed the many debates and polarizing conversations at my school and tried to neutralize them or whatever. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of ways he can go into like an example. There's more you can do here, but I wanted to just show you what it is. A lot of people are like, Neha, what does a college consultant do? What exactly are you guys really doing? We do a lot of different things, obviously, but this is one of the major things that parents don't realize. So if you've got an application, you've got, let's say 25%, or let's say 1/4 looks GPA, 1/4 test scores, 1/4 essay, 1/4 resume. When you've got an 11th grader, these things start to get pretty set. So are these. This is your big kahuna. The big one. Okay, so that's what I want you to know, that it's very important to really make sure that you understand the importance of why the essay can make or break an application. And we see a lot of bad essays. Another thing I will tell you is one of the biggest mistakes we see too is parents expect the college counselors or the counselors at school to do this level of work with their kid, and they just won't do it. They've got hundreds of kids to deal with. They've also seen trying to get an English teacher to edit the essays. The truth of the matter is an English teacher hasn't gotten kids into top universities. That's not what their skill set is. It's kind of like going to your regular doctor when you're trying to get help for your intestinal issues or IBS and you need to talk with a specific doctor type, right? So I need you to understand that it does take more time and effort when it comes to your kids' essays that you may not be realizing. And I hate it because I see it all the time. We see botched essays from other companies. We see botched topic ideas from college counselors. We see botched ideas even from parents themselves about what they think is important. And it's really important for the child's voice and story, their personal story, to come out. Now, we've worked on a lot of different types of essays, and we work on essays about abuse. We worked on essays about addictions, foster parents, adoption, passion for computer science, engineering, medicine, you name it, we've done it. So we know what typical essays look like that every kid submits versus what the unique ones do. Now, let's get into specifically, let's go into this one. This is a great one. So Rice is a great school. So I just think, let me go ahead and just fix this up for a second. Okay, so the quality of Rice's academic life and residential college system are heavily influenced by the unique life experience to cultural traditions and okay, so this question, by the way, is why should Rice take you? Now, Columbia asked this question. Tons of schools want this essay, and it is a very helpful essay to bring your sales pitch to why your kid should be accepted. Like, why should they take your kid? This is what they're trying to figure out is your kid a good fit beyond the grades, beyond the test score? Now, this student that wrote this essay was super sharp. Let me just put it that way in terms of GPA, incredible test scores, like high level. But let's get into the essay a little bit here. So you're going to see a really good start for the essay. As a child, and we brainstormed, just so you know, we brainstormed together before she wrote the essay. So you'll notice it's not first draft material, it's like fifth draft material for a student. All right. So as a child, I remember my community blank fondly. We'd enjoy many activities together from this to that. I remember feeling at home. When I moved to Texas, I felt as though my world was falling apart. My sense of home was gone. Until my sophomore year, I started to get involved. Though it hasn't been long since I've created a family outside of my home, in different ways to better our society. This is what I see in Rice University. As I scoured the pages of residential colleges, the pride-taken community I noticed at Rice was especially moving. So this needs to be reworded. As you can see, that's like a rewording issue. But you can see she's building up the suspense about, what her experience has been. Then she moves into like a connection to the school itself. Even though each college advertises itself as objectively best, it made me want to be part of the unique and cultural traditions from common culture at this to this. So as you can see, this is not a student that just sent a generic essay to Rice. They read about specific things at that college and specific thing at another college. So there can be more here, to be honest. This is a first draft after working with us intensively before starting and having examples and knowing what we wanted. So you're going to see this is a good essay in comparison to the other ones we've seen. And I wanted to show you kind of the differences of how fast. And by the way, this was after 1 or 2 hours of brainstorming with the student to talk through things for a few different essays. So you can see the difference of even just 60 minutes to 120 minutes of working with the student one-on-one, how different the essay quality is. I mean, that's night and day, that's months of time, that's them sitting staring at their blank cursor, them writing an essay that's not even relevant. So if you realize that time is money when it comes to your kid, you'll see why it's so useful to get a consultant. Okay, so now here we talk about, the connection to school. There can be more here. We already know academically she's driven based on that, so we don't really need to talk about it. Now she cuts into a little bit about herself. She goes, what personal perspective will you give? So she's getting a little bit more into some of the things she's done. As the vice chairman of blank, I bring a unique perspective in terms of leadership, passion, and creation through. Now, so this is a lot of what I call fluffy wording. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So too many fluffy words is not great. Let me tell you an example what I mean by fluffy words. So in order to ignite the purpose of others and to motivate the masses and to make sure that we are really intact with our authentic self and our vulnerability, we want to make sure we move those around us to understand the importance of connection of heart and mind. Do you notice how you're like, okay, what are you saying, Neha? Yeah, that's what's happening in that sentence. No one cares when you go too broad like that and it's too many fluffy words. It's like, stop synonymizing everything. All right, so that's the issue there. But here we get into something real. I managed to create, you created. So things like that where it's like, you got to tighten up your writing. Tighten up the because they've only got 2 to 4 minutes. So you don't need to say, I've managed to create. Things like this, students just don't see, okay? That's why you need to have an editor on the team. I've created a new program for our members to bring, I've created a new program, to bring joy. Young losers from home seeking refuge. We opened a shelter for domestic abuse. As a student, I want to be an active member through multiple students. Here, talk about which organizations. Okay, so as you can see, phenomenal essay. Just so you know, I'm very quick to give positive feedback, okay? Not just negative, but positive. And not negative, constructive. Don't you as parents say that? I'm just giving you constructive feedback. I mean so negative. Okay, so I have no problem saying that this is a positive written essay. I see a lot of people logging in, guys. If you are watching me right now, please type in yes in the comment box below. I just want to make sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I don't know. We had some technical difficulties. Joni said I lost my voice. So if you can hear me, type in yes below. Definitely heart the video. That lets me know. Or like the video. Share the video. That way I know it's like working. I'm going to take a second here. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll jump to commercial break for a second until I hear from you guys.
Hi, my name is Lauren Slocum Lahab, and I am honored to be here to talk about Elite Private Tutors and what they did for my son, Joss. Joss, great kid, big heart, but pretty much an average student. And he was really concerned when his senior year came up. He was like, Mom, I don't know if I can get into the colleges that I really want. So when I found Elite Private Tutors, they really understood my son, and we were committed to helping him create a great essay. And they were so great about asking him really great questions, understanding who he is as a person and his mission. And I am so grateful to them for helping my son understand that he didn't have to have a perfect SAT, he didn't have to have the perfect grades, and that he could still shine, and he got in every college that he desired. So I'm extremely grateful, and I can't wait for my other two kids to work with Elite Private Tutors.
All right. It's funny. Joss has already graduated. But I love that video because she really pointed out something that I haven't pointed out. They ask incredible questions to really get to know my child. That was powerful, just a heads up, because the types of questions we ask can result in a complete different trajectory in the essay itself. And I think that's really important is we make sure to ask the right questions that turn on that creative side of their brain, that turns on discussing a lot of different topics. We don't leave any question untouched. And so that's why you see some of these essays. I've had moms read the essays at the end and they're like, oh my God, like it's like opening up a wound. I can't believe, Neha, you went there with my kid. But it's so powerfully written. Oh my God, I had this one student last year that we worked with who we'd been working with for years with our family plan. And he, top student, great grades, really passionate, really an amazing student, is now at the top computer science program in the country. And the essay was like probably one of my favorites, and it had to deal with some serious family issue. And he got letters back of acceptance where the admissions director, and we get these a lot with the students we work with, that said, blank, let's say, John, we'd be honored to have you at our university. Your essay was really powerful. And we saw that over and over and over, every acceptance letter that came through. And so that's what I'm talking about when your kid writes an essay. You want those type of notes. We see it every single time, and it's really powerful. So if you haven't clicked the link below that's pinned at the top, please do, to learn a little bit more about how we can absolutely serve and help you. Now let me get back to this essay here. So as you can see, she goes a little bit more detailed here. So she talks a little bit more about some organizations. Again, you can tell she's done her research. So here she talks a little bit about her own personality, but there really isn't any conclusion if you ask me. There's no conclusion here about this essay, about why she's a great fit fully. We're missing one or two sentences. So that's really important to know. It's a 400 words what she's written. It's a 250 word essay. So that's really important. We see students try to push past the limit, and that's way past. But we actually will sit there and cut through all the stuff that doesn't need to be in the essay for them a lot too, because it's better to have more at first than to have less. Let's go into this last one here. So today, we are exposed to an abundance of information described as scientifically based, but sometimes not good science. Have you ever been persuaded to do something but realized you were wrong? Explain how your mistakes happen. If this has happened to you, what are your views on it? So here we have a student who's written about 3 different topics because they cannot decide what they want to write about. And that happens a lot too. It'd be faster if they had a consultant be like, no, yes, no. So I'll show you an example here. Here they sent this in. This is before they started working with us. Since childhood, we've been told about the horrors of the American diet and the detriments of sustaining diets with carbs. Eating cake and drinking Coke was a detriment to our bodies, and we learned to go for healthier options. Okay, so that's one topic. Okay, so she's talking about basically, and this will obviously have to be a longer essay, but also talking about just the diet changes in the world. Okay, another idea was the starving yourself or throwing up was a way to lose weight. I believe this, and I went through a phase where I was starving myself. When my parents found out, they tried to tell me the truth as a teenager. I didn't believe them. So this is a hot button topic she's chosen to kind of open and talk about. I don't know if that would be the best to be talking about unless she was possibly hospitalized, she had missed school, there was reasons that needed to be discussed prior to being accepted into that university. Probably not what they're looking for when they are looking at, they're really looking for something a little more lighthearted here, about something scientific, not really about personal experience. Okay, so this is where I would say a no-go on that one. The next one is, I later learned, as I took more science classes and researched the topic of human body, you do need carbs. Diet Coke is not all that better than Coke. One Coke once in a while will not harm you, but okay. So, not a good topic. Again, it's not really clear and concise what she's trying to talk about. So I'd say out of the three that she kind of like sat there and brainstormed about, probably for weeks on end, the first one was the best one about the American diet. We can flush it out a lot more. There'll be a lot more to flush out there. I'm glad to see a lot of people on. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Joni. Hi, Simone. Hi, Rhonda. Nice to see you guys. Oh, my God. So great to see all of you. Hi, Cynthia. Nice to see you. Hey, Jesma. Hey, Don. Awesome. Okay, so as you can see in this video, what I wanted to go through was a little bit, I went through 4 essays, actually. I was planning on going through 1, but I love you guys so much. I just wanted to give you as much as I can. So in this video, I went through 4 essays specifically around the college admissions essay. And I gave you examples of really botched essays versus really good essays in the process. I've also kind of talked through, while doing that, I've showed you kind of what a really good essay looks like. And I've also told you a little bit about the importance of how the style of writing is very important. I also talked a little bit about kind of the process and the timeline of how a student does this. Typically it goes from, I don't want to do this, I'm going to brainstorm about it. I'll just stare at a blank cursor and maybe Snapchat with my friends. Eventually I feel so bad, or my mom is like, where's the essay? And then I get a call. And then we discuss the topics, we look at what they have, either we use it or we scrap it. We use really incredible tools for outlining and drafting and our brainstorming session. And then we review those drafts with the student. Then we send it over to our editing team of little wordsmiths that sit there and help to edit to final draft. While the kids are at school, extracurricular, studying for SAT, whatever they're doing, we are working behind the scenes. And then we get the final draft done, sent over, review any last minute changes, and then it's done. And most students, actually 100% of students I've worked with have said, oh my gosh, Neha, I wish I hired you earlier, because then we could have written this essay earlier, and then I wouldn't have had to stress about it, and it could have been done. And just so you know, we can do this entire process in less than a week. Less than a week. Just the essay part, we can literally get it done in a week. So I think it's really important for you to know you don't have to stretch this process out. I'm all about systems, process, efficiency, and getting it done. So I think that's really important. The next thing I also talked to you guys about was the importance of having a good grabber. Like one of our awesome moms said here, Jessica, 1 minute is typically what we see for for the college admissions essay and what they actually do in terms of, 1 minute is about, I think 1 minute's short. 2 to 4 minutes is how long they spent on the essay. So having a good headline or a good grabber is very important. Making sure you spell check your essay is very important. Making sure you find the right topic is important. Making sure you avoid a stream of consciousness is important. Making sure you're clear and concise is important. Making sure you're detailed but not too detailed is important. Really making sure that you're really focused on what the topic is being asked of and how you fit into that college. So I hope this video has been really helpful for you. If it has, please like and heart the video. Share it with a friend or 10 friends today, because this is a really, really great video that I've done that gives you 4 examples of essays. I hope you loved it. It's been great having you on. Again, if you are wanting any type of assistance, those moms that are interested in getting the help for their kid, they know they're going to need it, we are doing early bird discounts right now. So make sure to get in while you can. Thanks so much. Bye.